So hello again, this is still Engineer Louis John Alcarde from Midas IT Philippines, and today naman po we will be having a tutorial on how to use DSHOP. Paano po natin i-incorporate yung DSHOP sa ating workflow ng ating Midas Gen. Now, as you can see in your screens right now, I've already opened the DSHOP ACA tutorial. Diyan po yun sa mga tutorial videos din po na ibibigay namin. Now, we will have this tutorial video. So, because marami po kasing tao na who overlook the capabilities of the shop. So, purpose of this tutorial video is to help those people na para malaman po kung ano po yung capabilities ng ating DSHOP. Now, to begin with, let's begin with the overview of DSHOP, Midas DSHOP. Ito po, it focuses more on the auto drafting and rebar detailing and the generation of bill of materials as well. Itatackle po natin yan dito sa video natin today. And that's all as per ACI 318. Now, DSHOP naman, it supports the codes for concrete ASTM-RC. Rebar naman ASTM-RC pa rin. And on rebar diameter, we have ASTM-RC or the international standards for RC. Now, ito naman po ang model na ating ipe-present ngayon. This is a 9-story building with a rigid diaphragm. Structural system po is on the X direction. Meron po tayong special moment resisting frames with steel and concrete members. And on the Y direction naman po, meron tayong dual system with concrete special moment resisting frames. And so on. So, as we can see in our works tree, makita po natin dito ang ating sections. We all have those sections. Magkakaiba po yan sila lahat. Unselect. Yeah, we can check all those. Ano po yung mga sections na ginamit natin in this particular model. Now, you can just check all those out if you want to. Now, moving on, we can go to our part 2 of this tutorial, which is the DSHOP Gen interface. Now, ang gagawin po natin first of all is we go to our design tabs. What we will do first is to perform the batch design so that pag import po natin sa DSHOP, meron na po silang batch design. So, after we will check on analysis, steel code checking, we will do that, and of course concrete beam checking, concrete column checking, and concrete wall checking, since we do not have braces in there. So after I click run, this will take some time to run the analysis. So as at this moment, you can just chill, listen. You can listen to my voice. Okay, so this will open results dialog, 4 na result dialogs. This is the one for concrete, steel, as you can see here. Yan po siya. And the other 3 are for the beam, column, and the wall. Now, this will take some time. You can just wait for it. Anyways, while waiting for it, we can check by member or by property like we did in Midas Gen. You can always do that here. Pwede po natin silang i-check. Now we have this beam checking. Ito naman po yung beams natin by property. And by member, we can check that as well. So far sa nakikita po natin, they're all okay. Check by property, do that. Still have to wait for the columns and the walls. By the way, the walls would take not long enough, but ito pong beams and columns, they would take a little while to finish. So, this might be the part na pwede po tayong kumuha ng kape siguro. You can just relax, wait for the checking to be done. And by the way, this is the only thing that we want to do before we export our file to a drawing file. What we need to do is to perform batch design lamang po. That's all we need to do. That is given na tapos na po tayong mag-model ng ating, and we applied the loads already, as we can see in our workstream. This one model here is just for this particular tutorial, but you can also do this sa mga sariling projects ninyo. Just make sure na everything that we need to have in here are all here. Make sure na kompleto na po siya before po natin siya i-export patungong DSHOP. Now, further explanation on DSHOP. It's just a tool na pwede po natin gamitin when we use Midas Gen. It doesn't necessarily mean that it can stand alone. Ginagamit po natin ito in coordination with Gen to auto draft and to edit our rebar detailing, and syempre to generate our bill of materials like I said earlier. And we cannot do that kung just with DSHOP alone. It needs to be incorporated talaga with dito sa ginagamit natin sa Midas Gen. Now that we are almost done with column, okay. Now lastly, for the wall checking. So, after performing our batch design, makita po natin itong 4 na result dialog windows. Now, we can always check them if you want to. I'll leave that to you na po if you want to check anything that you want to check dyan. And just click on, you can just close this after checking. That is if you want to check, that is if we need to check. If there is a checking that needs to be done, we can do that, and we can just close all of those 4 windows and this one as well. Now, after performing our batch design, we can see that we are already in our post-processing mode, just like what we did pag nag-run tayo ng design, katulad nung sa Midas Gen na basic training session. We are now in our post-processing mode, so we can now export our file to Midas Drawing. We can just click on File, itong malaking G dito, and we can choose to export, and we can export this to Midas Drawing file. Now, in exporting a Midas Drawing file, we need to make sure to save the drawing in MGN file, so we can just leave that DSHOP ACI tutorial in MGN file. We can just click on save. After that, we can now open our DSHOP. File conversion has been completed, so that should be good. We can now open our DSHOP. Launch our DSHOP. After po natin siya i-open, let's make a new project. Then we can see this. Next thing we do is we click on File to import naman, this time from midas gen. Gagamitin nating file name is of course yung generate natin na DSHOP and MGN file. We can open that and select midas gen rebar diameter space. Make sure na naka-check po yan lahat. Import midas gen results. Pwede po natin siya import by member. It means na we will import our design results for each and every member. Pag by sections naman po, what we will import is the most unfavorable design results. So for today's session, we will do that. We will import by section and just click on OK. Now that we have imported this, we are on our model view. And we can just start with our DSHOP settings. Now dito naman po, first thing that we do is we want to go to Model tab and define design code. Dito naman po sa define design code, let's focus on the concrete cover. Ang nakalagay dito is 25, that is the default 25 millimeters. We will input 40 for both interior and exterior. It's 40 mm. And after that, rebar detail setting, we can click on rebar detail setting, and dito po tayo magpo-focus. We will edit this as well. This is gonna be outer coefficient is 0.25, inner naman is gonna be 0.300. Dito is 0.125. This one is as 0.125 as well. Sa stirrup reinforcement zones naman, tie at ends, it's gonna be 0.300. And stirrups at midsection is gonna be 0.4. So that should be it. We can click on OK. We have modified our rebar detail setting. Now sa column bracing naman, concrete cover pa rin. Default is gonna be 25, but we will change that to 40. Interior and exterior. And sa end rebar lengths naman, we will put 835 millimeters for that. And we can just click on OK. Now that we have modified that, we can now edit our grid line. Punta po tayo dito, model, just click on grid line. Mag-open po ito ng bagong window, which is our grid line. So this is the grid line that we will have on our top view. Ito po yung grid line natin. We can just check on that and go back to our model view. Now, let's go back to our model again and click on splice method. Now, what we will do here is just to check na naka 50% lap na po sila. That's the default for everything. 50% splice for all. Just click on OK. Now lastly, we will modify our rebar data. In modifying naman our rebar data, we can have a first method. First method is to double click on the member. So let's say we want to modify our rebar data on this particular member. So if we want to modify our rebar data, that is, those are the values in there. If you want to modify, we can modify. We can choose whatever we want it to be. That's it. But for today, we will not modify anything. I'm just gonna show you that we can do this if you want to. Now, if we want to apply it to member, pag-apply naman to member, we can, this is to modify the rebar for the selected member only. Pag-apply to group naman, this is to modify the rebar for all the members that belong to the same group as the one member that we have selected. Now, so we can just close this. Now, sa mga times naman po na mahihirapan tayong mag-click on a particular member, mag-double click so that we can, for method 1. Method 2, ito po yung mas efficient for you. So, method 2 on modifying our rebar data, we can go to our plan view here. Now, let's say we can click on the 7th floor. Now this, say we want to modify our rebar data for this particular that particular column. We want to modify, pwede po natin siyang i-modify if we want to. This is for those na mahihirapan pong mag-click on the model view itself. So we go to our plan view. Ito po siya. And same thing applies. Apply to member pa rin po pag we would want to modify the rebar for that selected member. And apply to group naman if you want to modify the rebars for all the members of the selected group or yung group na nakasama ng ating sinelect na member. So after doing that, we can just close this and we can go to structural drawing settings, drawings, and then click on settings. We can check po the layers. Ito po siya. Layering ng ating drawings. We can check our text style. This, pwede po natin silang i-modify if we want to. Right now, ito po yung naka-default. This is when we modify our drawings. Structural drawing settings, dimension style, if you want to change those, you can always do that. Structural design settings, again, and symbol, lastly symbol. Ito po yung symbols na we can see in our model view. So if you want to change those, then we can always do that. Now we can just click on cancel. We don't want to change anything. I'm just gonna leave it at that. May po tayo dito sa ating model view. And to help naman we can always do is check on help. To modify our layer settings, we can go to tutorial movies, modify layer settings, pwede po natin siyang i-check. And pwede rin po natin i-check yung ating modifying our symbols. Now we can always do that. Now, after doing that, we go back to structural drawing tab. Ito naman pong plan style. Ito for checking naman po. Plan style, you can check on those. Downward view of plan, downward view of plan. So, syempre gusto natin always downward view of plan. It means parang nakikita po natin yung ating drawings on the top view, which is the normal. Ito po yung normal na ginagawa natin. Section style, you can still check that. Check section style, top left or bottom right, location of column symbol, everything pwede po natin siyang i-check. I will just leave this to you to check if you want. Member list style naman, check that out. Tulad po nito. These are the things na pwede po natin i-change if we want to. But today we will be only using the default ones. Click that. And lastly, on general notes style. Ito naman po yung general notes. We can always change that if you want to. Ito po yung mga dimensions nila. We can change all those if you want. Now for more help on that particular styles, same pa rin po, we can check on our tutorial movies. This time video 14 is to modify member list style. That one, you can check that out if you want to know how to use it, if you want to know how to modify it this time. Now, after, you can go to our preferences. Ito po tayo sa ating tools. Click on preference, and you can click on development and splice lengths. Click po natin dyan, you can just go and click set rebar fabrication lengths. Po sila. These are our fabrication lengths. You can always edit that as well if you want to, but again, we will stick to the default this time, so we'll just click on OK. Default po kasi is 12 meters, so we will stick to that. And dito naman po sa design, we will make sure na ang code na ginagamit natin for our design code is ACI 318-08. For concrete material naman, it's going to be ASTM-RC. For rebar, it's going to be ASTM-RC as well, and rebar size is going to be IS para po diretso na siyang in millimeters. Now, we can just click on OK. Now, after doing those, after making sure na na-modify na natin ang mga dapat nating modify, those things na gusto nating in-modify, we can now go to our bill of materials. Now, we can go to tools and click on bill of materials. So, ang file name po natin, it's gonna be already in a Excel sheet file. So, we can click OK. And we can open this. This is our bill of materials na na-generate po ng ating Midas DSHOP. Now, ang ginagamit naman po nating Microsoft Office is gonna be at least yung 2000 para po gumana yung ating. But I doubt na meron pa pong mga Microsoft Office na ginagamit na yun na not later than 2000. So we can just go back to our DSHOP after checking our bill of materials. Now let's go on to our drawing generation. Now punta po tayo dito sa ating general notes ng ating drawing generation. What we can do is go to our structural drawing tabs, and then we can click on generate auto drawing. And in this, we want to have an auto drawing for, say, a particular title. Let's say this one, and click OK. Now, mag-open po siya ng bagong layout. And we can this is our first layout of our drawing. Signed by, of course, we can always edit that if we export this to AutoCAD or say Midas drawing na softwares. Now, let's go now to our drawing panel. Our drawing panel naman po, this is our general notes. Ito po yung drawing panel natin. Let's go to our general notes. Let's just drag and drop general notes dito. You can click on OK. So, these are the general notes ng ating model. You can see here that we have a floor, we have a basement to the roof, structural material na ginagamit, meron tayong RC and steel, concrete, ano yung ginagamit, FC, main rebars, additional rebars, steel rebars, and all. So, that's it for general notes. And again, we can check on our tutorial movies, generating automatic drawings this time if you want to check out how to efficiently generate auto drawings. You can always check that. Now, After that, sectional elevation. Let's click on, just click on plan, sectional elevation, drag and drop. Yun pa rin po, we can drag and drop our drawings dito. Floor plan. Let's floor plan po wala. Let's say we will want our 7th floor, say 5th floor na lang, 5th floor. Ganun pa rin po, we can drag and drop here. So that's it. What you can do is to select our scale. The default is 1:100. So we can just click on OK, and we want to click on particular area kung saan natin siyang gustong dalhin. Now this is the floor plan that have been generated by DSHOP. Ang 5th floor plan natin with the scale of 1:100. This is it. Do that. Next is yung sectional elevation naman. And go to section. Sectional elevation, let's try this one, line X9. Makikita po natin yan dito sa grid line view. Line X9. Therefore, ito po yung gusto nating makita. Gusto po natin siyang makita. So, let's just go back here. Line X9, section elevation. Drag and drop pa rin. Scale is 1:100. And we can just click it. Put it in there. Now, this is our section elevation for line X9. You can always check that. Now, after doing that, we can also check our beam longitudinal rebars. Beam longitudinal rebars dito sa member list. Beam longitudinal rebar list. Can drag and drop. So, yun pa rin po. And just click on OK and click on the screen kung saan natin siyang gustong ilagay. You can see that this is our beam longitudinal rebar list. Can leave you to check it if you want to. Now after that, we can always check on our tutorial movies in generating automatic drawings, and of course generating beam rebar drawings. You can also check those tutorial movies if you want. So after that, let's go to beam longitudinal rebar pa rin. Let's drag and drop member list. This time, yung girder longitudinal rebar list naman. So, drag and drop. Okay. And click on the screen kung saan natin siyang gustong ilagay. It's pretty huge drawing, so this is it. This is our girder longitudinal rebar list. You can check that out if you want to. You can see here we have the details, we have the sections, stirrups, yun na po, in every detail, nakita po natin sila. And lastly, yung column longitudinal sections naman. You can go to our drawing panel, in column longitudinal sections. This time we will try this 600 by 500 x6 y9, this one. Yung pa rin po, drag and drop, and just click on OK, and click anywhere on the screen para kung saan natin gusto ilagay. So this is the column longitudinal section. So you can see, same pa rin po lang dun sa girder longitudinal sections. We have those details as per kung saan na po siya nakalagay banda. Now lastly we can do is to edit and save our drawings. Let's go now to our edit and save our drawings. Can go right. Slab rebar drawings, if we have those, we can also do that. Now, so we can always check on format on our drawing if we want to format our drawing dimensions. If you want to modify anything, yung tools, we can always check that out. And of course, pwede natin siyang check always. This is for you to explore. Ano po yung gusto nating i-change sa ating drawings, you can always do that here. Just make sure that we are still in our layout window. Mag-iiba po siya pag nasa model view na tayo. Pag layout window, we can always edit drawing outlines or drawings themselves. You can always do that. Okay, now after doing that, we can do lastly is to save our file. Now, go to file and just save this. Pwede natin siyang pangalanan na ECI tutorial. Of course, you can always do this. You can change that into a drawing file or DXF file if you want. So you can save that. And lastly, we can DSHOP tutorial. ECI tutorial. Yeah. We can open this using our AutoCAD, or this time I will be using midas CAD to open the drawings that we have saved in DSHOP. By the way, this is midas drawing. Ito po yung aming alternative sa AutoCAD. You can always check this out. Oops. Sorry. Okay. So, yep. Now we have it. Now, pag na-open naman po natin siya sa ating AutoCAD or sa midas drawing, we can always, dito na po natin silang pwedeng ma-edit using our functions naman sa AutoCAD or whatever we want to change everything. So, that's pretty much it. I hope na may natutunan kayo dito, and I hope na na-explain ko po sa inyo yung at least man lang a preview of what DSHOP can do para po in the future mas magamit po natin siya, and that we will not overlook midas DSHOP. Ano po yung mga capabilities niya. And so that's it. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope na I'll see you again on the next video tutorials that we will have. Thank you and have a great day.